Okay, bigbandtheory.net. These are the rock and roll trivia questions. Question for the day, the first question is a lead singer, the only lead singer I know that holds out consonants instead of vowels. So typically in vocal style throughout all of history, you hold out the vowels, A, E, I, O, and U, and sometimes Y. That's just typically what you only think you can hold out. It turns out there's a lead singer in rock that holds out consonants. Never heard it done before or since. It makes his style very unique. Who is that lead singer? Okay, pause. The answer is Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon. He holds out consonants. In the song Keep On Rollin', you got keep on rollin'. He holds out L's. As soon as you are a bell, he holds out R's. It's crazy. Go back, listen to some REO Speedwagon and listen for that very unique vocal style he has. Okay. bigbandtheory.net, rock and roll trivia questions are who are the best bass players? This is just my list. Now, I'm ranking bass players not only just on technical ability, but also the unique bass lines they came up with in their songs. So, who are some of the best bass players? Pause. Okay, my list, and this is not in order. Number one, Paul McCartney. Okay, it is in order. Paul McCartney of the Beatles. Most of the bass lines are so cool. And if you're not even into bass, sometime turn on some Beatles songs and just listen for the bass if you can. It makes the music. Number two would be John Entwistle of The Who, amazing. Then John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin. Of course, we've got Geddy Lee of Rush, just incredible technical stuff also and on timings. And then, of course, Flea, and he does a lot of slap bass, but an amazing bass player from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay, so the next one is, this is sort of a one-person trivia question, and it's pretty cool. So this person is considered the father of surf music. He came up with that little slide do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do in surf music. So he's considered the father of surf music. He also plays a right-handed guitar turned upside down. So he's a left-handed, but the strings are backwards. So crazy. He is considered the father of heavy metal. And the reason is he played so loud, he blew out 50 of his guitar amps. Back then they were only 50 amp things. He talked Leo Fender into making a 100-watt amp, which they did, and now considered the father of heavy metal. And that's enough, but who is this person I'm naming? Pause. Okay, his name is Dick Dale, and just a very unique person that was really inspirational in also different genres of music and getting us the 100-watt guitar amplifier. Thank you, Dick. Okay, the next question I have is Brian May of Queen, lead guitarist, has a really unique sound, very mid-rangey, but the attack time is different on every string, and here's why. He has a unique guitar pick, an object that is not a guitar pick. So what is that object he uses as a guitar pick? Pause. Okay, he uses what looks to be a dime, but it's called a sixpence from the UK. And that creates an attack time. And recently I was even at the Hard Rock Cafe in Las Vegas. They have this big picture of about 100 different guitar picks from famous guitarists. They're real picks. And singularly, that dime sticks out like a sore thumb. And of course it has Brian May's name on it. Now I already knew this. About 10 years ago, I ordered a Digitech pedal that was supposed to capture a lot of Brian May's sounds, and it did. But I was surprised because I got this little velvet bag and I opened it up inside the box and it was a 6-pence coin, and I scratched my head. At that point, I didn't know that was a Brian May guitar pick until I looked it up. So that was a fun little gift that they're telling you, hey, you got to get that sound, you got to use the 6-pence. Okay, so next question is guitarists that don't use a pick. Okay, so these are guitarists that only use their fingers. Most guitarists use their fingers somewhat when they're finger picking, but typically when you're playing lead, you use a guitar pick. So these are guitarists that do not use a guitar pick. What are they? Who are they, I should say? Pause. Okay, so the only ones I came up with 6. So we have Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac, Mark Knopfler, of course, of Dire Straits, and he's also left-handed, by the way, but does not use a guitar pick. Jeff Beck, surprisingly, does not use a guitar pick. Steve Hackett from Genesis, John Mayer, and lastly, Derek Trucks. So those guys actually just play with their fingers, and it creates a nice, unique sound also. Okay, next trivia question today is drummers. Okay, so these are drummers that are lead vocalists, and they don't come around very often, and that's why it's a great question. So who are some of the best lead singer drummers of all time? Pause. Okay, so the first one that comes to mind is when Genesis started, they had Peter Gabriel as the lead vocalist. Later he went off, did a solo career, and they brought their drummer out and had him sing lead. He became later way more famous than even Peter Gabriel. His name is Phil Collins. So Phil Collins, drummer, lead singer. Next one on the list is in my top 3 lead singers of all time, Don Henley of Eagles. So Don Henley sang songs everywhere from Desperado to Victim of Love, Hotel California, and on and on and on. Amazing lead singer. 3 other lead singers that I have listed is Sheila E. from Prince. Karen Carpenter was actually a drummer from the band Carpenters. And then Dave Grohl, who played drums for Nirvana and then later formed Foo Fighters. Okay, thanks.